Welcome back to Rainbow Six Extraction. In this video we are going to be reviewing the game, and as the title states, this is a very, very rare situation where I actually recommend a Ubisoft title. Very quickly before we jump into this one, if you are not currently subbed to the channel, make sure you sub, turn notifications on. All support is greatly appreciated. And if you want to support me further as a creator, there are links in the description. Click on show more, check them out. We have YouTube channel memberships, merch, Patreon, buy me a coffee, all that good stuff. And let's jump into it. So, Rainbow Six Extraction. When you first start this game, you are going to be locked to playing in one area, and that is New York. What you'll have to do is keep going back, doing runs. There are 3 different locations in New York, and as you play more, you get more progress. You will complete milestones and unlock new areas and game modes. It's going to take you quite a while to unlock these different areas. You have to do a lot of runs. You have operators in this game, and they are from Rainbow Six Siege, but there are some missing. You don't have all of them, and I'm almost certain there isn't a single unique operator to this game at all. They've all been ripped from Siege. If you are playing this game on Xbox and you do not own the Game Pass, you are going to have to pay £45 for this title. It's possibly going to be the same price on PlayStation, and I believe it's like £33.50 or £35 or something on PC. What you do in the game is you go into an area, and you're going to have different objectives. Maybe you'll have to find some nests and destroy them, maybe plant trackers on some of them, capture or kill elite targets, and there's more available in the game. One thing to take note of, you don't have to just run and gun all the time. You can play this stealth, which is going to help you out. A lot of the nests will lay dormant, so they won't be active unless you trigger some of the enemies in the area and the nests become active. This game will become repetitive incredibly quick, and although the game can be played solo, I highly recommend you find yourself a group. The game does have matchmaking and crossplay, so it shouldn't be too difficult. If you go down during a mission, you can be revived, but if you didn't use a special operator or get revived by your teammates, the next down is going to be a KO. Which means your operator's wiped out, you have to spectate. Another thing to take note of very quickly is on launch day, don't know if they fixed it by now, this a few days after the game come out, a lot of people have had server issues with this. I streamed it on the day of release, it was also my birthday, so I merged the two together, I did a Rainbow Six Extraction birthday stream, and a lot of people were telling me they had server issues with this game. So if you're going to pick it up now, just be careful that you could experience the same problem. You might not even be able to play the game. If you do get KO'd whilst you're playing, you will need to be carried back to an extraction pad so that your operator doesn't go MIA. If you're running solo, I have no idea what actually happens with this. I've never played the game solo, and I don't plan to. I've just heard from a lot of other people, and just with how the game works, I feel it should never have a solo mode in there at all. If an operator does go MIA, so missing in action, you will need to return to that mission area and extract them, although that objective can be the 3rd and the hardest objective in that run. Basically, you'll come to this massive sort of pillar, I'm going to call it. It's got a load of nodes that come off it. You have to shoot the little blob things like a nest at the end of each of the nodes, whilst pulling your operator out of this like pillar. They basically get trapped there and you have to fight against it in order to free your operator. Then you have to carry them back to the extraction pad. Each run in the game will have you running through 3 subzones, which will each have different objectives, becoming harder and harder. Although, one thing I really like about this game is you can complete Objective 1, you can skip Objective 2 by running straight to the next airlock, and then you can complete Objective 3. If there's an objective you know is really tough for you and your team to take down, you can skip it entirely. If you wanted to, you could skip Objective 1 and 2 and then just do 3. You could complete Objective 1, skip 2 and 3. At any point in the game, you can run to an extraction pad and get yourself out of there. And if you take damage during a run, that operator will need time to heal. An MIA operator, once extracted, will receive 50 hit points or health or whatever you want to call it, and whatever bonus you got during that run will be applied on top of that. Whilst you're completing objectives and earning XP, you're also building up HP that your injured operators will receive at the end of the run, and objectives will become easier the more you play the game and the more you get used to them. So when I say your operators will need time to heal, basically there's no time limit to it. It's just if I go into a run and I lose 20 HP, that operator, if I use it again, if the game lets me, I will go back in and start with 80 health. So realistically, what you should be doing is switching out your operators. I think it's a very good mechanic. It's bad in terms of you have to do multiple runs to get some of your operators back, but it's good because it adds variation to the game. You're not always going to use the same operator because they're going to get injured. So it adds variety whilst like it's irritating at the same time due to having to replenish the health. So you go into a run, you lose 20 HP on, I don't know, let's just say you lose it on Lion. You then go into another run using Doc, and you complete that run successfully, taking no damage at all. If you've done all 3 of the objectives, you should be awarded more than 20 HP, and that health bonus gets applied to all of your operators. So if you have 6 injured, they'll all get that bonus health, and Lion will then go back to full health. You can go back in with Lion. So make sure that you are trying to do as many objectives as you possibly can, because that's going to give you more health towards like healing your operators and getting them back into the fight. As I said, no time limit. It's based on completing objectives and completing runs in order to heal your operators so you can go back in with full health and do extra runs. So in terms of the MIA operator, as an example, complete all 3 objectives and extract that MIA operator. You get 50 health, and then maybe you'll get 40 for all the operators as a bonus. So one more decent run, and that operator is back to full health, ready to use again. If you do, however, lose all operators, the game is going to give you one back, so that you're never out of operators. If they didn't put that mechanic in the game, there would be a time where players get locked out of the game completely. You do have studies that you can check for each of the locations, so New York, San Francisco, and the others. Completing these studies, you will earn bonus XP. You'll have things like pinging nests that are available in each game area, so on and so forth. There are different ones, some of them easy, some of them might take a few runs, like taking down, which is going up behind an enemy and like on Xbox clicking in your right stick. Take down an enemy silently, and it's to the, I forget what they're called, I think they're like breachers or something. They're explodey enemies. We had to take down 3 of them, and it was a little bit of a nightmare, but we did manage to get it done in the end, and that awards quite a lot of XP. They'll be completely different. Some areas might copy them because, you know, Ubisoft copy-paste, but so far they were pretty good to do, awarded a decent amount of XP. Each operator has their own level, so you've got milestones, you've got studies, you've got levels in character progression, and each level will unlock new bonuses, like you can get reduced cooldowns, which is incredibly helpful. Milestones will unlock new gadgets and operators, as well as new areas and modes. First getting into the game, it looks just like a Rainbow Six Siege DLC, and even after a while it still feels the same. Although during my live stream, I did start to enjoy the game more and more the further I got, because I had much more to do and new operators to do it with. Also, as everyone says, if you're playing with your friends, you can have fun and a lot of it on really bad games. So bear in mind, solo, the game's probably dreadful from what I've heard and what I've seen. But playing with friends, you can have fun on this. Finding a random group, you could have fun. Even though I recommend playing this game, because I do recommend playing it, it's quite a fun game, and it's rare for me to do that in general, let alone with a Ubisoft title, I cannot recommend it outside of Xbox Game Pass. Realistically, my opinion, not even for £10-15, like $15-20, I can't recommend it. As I said, the game will cost you £45 on Xbox, and it's not worth a single penny. They have used so many assets from Rainbow Six Siege, including operators. They didn't even bother to go through the hassle of creating a single new operator for a brand new game they've released. They even have the same drone holes in the floor, like the bottom of the walls, as Rainbow Six Siege, and I know it's a Rainbow Six game, but it's not Siege. There should have been a lot of stuff different in this game. This game, either incredibly cheap or through Game Pass, is worth the download. You will have fun with it, but Ubisoft should have done much more, as I said, as there is no new value from it at all. It really does feel like they could have released it as a cheap or even free Siege DLC. This is also a co-op game, solo would probably suck, especially how they fail to make things work in 3-player groups properly. Ammo crates and stuff are limited to 2 uses, plus you'll also find ammo absolutely everywhere. Typically in a run, me and Pete were ending up with between maybe 1,000 and 1,500 rounds for our guns. On the other hand, I really wish they could update the game and give more medkits. They are more stingy with medkits than what Ubisoft have been with unique assets and areas in this game. The game starts you in New York, that famous Division location. There's a lot of stuff they have been super lazy with, but the game is still fun. So I recommend it, playing it through Game Pass or incredibly cheap. If you're paying $15, $20 or more, I can't recommend it at all for that price. And that's mainly focused on the fact that all the operators are from Siege. I don't like how they haven't brought anything new to the table besides, oh, we're fighting creatures, we're fighting aliens instead of humans. But what we're going to do is leave the video there. Let me know your thoughts and stuff in the comments, anything you can add on to my review. And I will see you in the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed it.